Good morning everybody. Namaskar. This is Suru Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this October 21st, 2021, Thursday in this time from 4:10 a.m. My last video was talking about something like the quality system, and it was important point here. I was trying to narrate my single shutdown again. I don't think it will work. So shut down, video is 0, audio is 0, again same problem coming. I think there's some problem symbols today is only 4 fps 4 frames per second is not enough for video. At least requires 20 frames per second. So it's 4 frames and now it's 29 frames. So let me continue. For how long I can, so I don't know. System is falling symbols problem. I think it's continuous everyday problem. It is there's will not take any without not giving any quality service. It may be Airtel. Sometimes I'm using Airtel service based on the quality people I can call them. Not just it's just a fact of life that quality doesn't exist anywhere. So how can we not be serious? This is a question. Why quality should not exist? Everyone is also discussing particular engineers or are responsible for quantity and quality. This community is a production community. Engineers are responsible for all development of world. I'm talking this country, Bharat, India, which is really very strong in every way. Large people power, and that we can say power. We have knowledge society, we have engineers, we have technicians, we have, but we are not having one very important criteria, and that is seriousness. Doesn't exist. Seriousness doesn't exist, and we have to be serious. It was serious time long before when there was no quality system. Since quality system has been empty, I think seriousness has gone somewhere. I don't know its address now. I don't know where is quality address. Do you know? If you know address of quality, kindly tell me what is address, what's email ID, so that I know where is quality situation, where is this location. I've been trying to find quality for many years. I've been unable to find its location. I can't even identify where it is. I don't even compare. So it's my try to understand my problem, my grievance. I'm telling everybody it is my grievance that I cannot find quality. I am not sure about quality. What is meaning of quality? Is it substandard which is quality, or is bad standard is quality, or super standard is quality, or equal to standard is quality? What is quality? I don't understand. That's why I'm talking to you. You may be you may take it as joke or you may take it as entertainment or whatsoever, but facts sometimes should be spoken like this. And fact is, we are not quality society. I was just explaining my experience about one project. It's very difficult. I could not get what I wanted to do, and I was too young at that time. I wrote on that work that it didn't comply with the specifications at all. I was short on that, rather than they cooperated with me. They should have cooperated with me in the interest of work, in the interest of society, in the interest of nation, in the interest of development. And of course, I had to learn that because I was too young. I was a budding type, and I can't say what it was, but facts are facts. You may be young, you may not be young, you may be old. But you can't change requirement, you can't say right is wrong or wrong is right. You may say, but it doesn't mean that. What is fact is fact. So it was just very small work for me because just piping, sanitary pipe, power supply pipe, drainage pipes. But it was for 180 dwelling units means it to my experience it was considered quite enough, and it was very minute work. That not only that I have to supervise that, I have to measure that also, because our contract was item rates. It was not lump sum rate in those days. Means whatever work we do, we supervise or contractor does, we have to record them as quantities measured, or you can say entries done, and then whatever work is done based on measurements, that work was to be paid according to rates agreed. That was item rate contract, and this were in those days lump sum fashion didn't exist. Well, I wrote on those bills, all those valuations of payment certificates, that this work has been done, and this has not been done according to specifications. And this little sentence, not been done, means if I had written had been done, that's okay, fine. This is not, and that not made me out. I could not stay there not out. You got my point? This writing that work has not been done according to specification. If I written work has been done, well, I was a good boy, I was a good person, I was a professional, I was experienced. If I wrote not, this is awards based on facts. This is not awards based on polishing or pattering or lying or acting or fabricating. This was real award, and I think such awards are beautiful. Video zero, audio zero, stagnation must go. No use if I speak, I won't be recorded. Piping I was talking, no signals yet. Some signals have come back. Let me say I wasted some time. So I was talking about my fighting, my professional dispute with those people, and I was really awarded by getting some transfer. And had I met their requirement, it was fine, but didn't work. I was trying to explain how quality worked in those days. There was no system. It was interest of people whether they wanted quality or they didn't want quality. Means again I'm blaming. I I have to blame engineers because engineers deal with contracts. Engineers deal with works. Engineers deal with supervision. Engineers deal with execution, and engineers deal with contracting work. So how can you blame some others? Yes, of course, you might be under pressure. You might be under pressure. You must have resistance. You must have, you can say, power to encounter whatever imposition of pressure is forced on you. But that is idealistic. I'm talking. Everybody is practical. Everybody is interested in seat and power. This happens, and even I think those maybe some persons, 1% or 2% foolish like me, they're unable to digest that force. If you stick to specifications, quality system or quality, maybe you are not a favorite of people, of big bosses. You're not you're not given that value as you should get because you are honest. And you think honesty pays? I think maybe at some location it pays, but in general, honesty does not pay in social world, in real world. Now in 2021, I don't think honesty got some meaning. I may not find this word in dictionary in real world. It may be in dictionary in terms of article, but you cannot find real meaning of honesty in dictionary of whatever language. Honesty, sincerity, commitment, dedication, or you can say considering work as religion or faith. You can't say this is definition now. There's no valid definition as such. What's there if something goes wrong? What's there if people die because of bad work? What's the problem if something goes like that? No problem, my dear, no problem. Don't worry about that. Everything is fine, everything is okay. Don't worry. Don't be so crazy because you are not responsible for this world. World is responsible for you. You may say that. Well, I was joking, so don't take it otherwise. I have many more experiences in life. I will share them with sometime with you because it's very important point. As why I'm actually, I just justify myself also. I try to justify many times, and some people don't like my this work, which is special for me. This work I've been taking for more than 2 years now. I started this work in somewhere around 2 years now, or 2 years and 1.5 years. That I try to disseminate whatever experience I have based on that, and collecting or getting some more information from some other sources, trying to share this information, and also to amalgamate this information, to coagulate this information, enriching this information with much more input, so that at least those people, those personnel, those engineers who don't have any back, who don't have any experience back, as I didn't have, I suffered. I don't want, because it is not my property. Knowledge, or whatever level of knowledge I have, you have, it's property of none of ours. If you share knowledge with those people who are competent, not everybody, you can share only with competent people, citizen competent, engineer competent, person competent. You cannot share knowledge with those who don't care for knowledge, who care for nothing, only for money. It may be politician, it may be engineers, it may be whosoever. I'm talking to those, I'm interested in those who are having respect for their soul. I'm interested in those who have respect for themselves, respect of the world, respect of humanity, respect of soul, respect of a power of soul. I'm interested in those because dishonesty. Maybe you are dishonest sometimes, maybe you are honest sometimes, but remember, dishonesty has got no existence. Maybe for time you can get advantage of that, but you remember, ultimately, you know, particularly in engineering, it should be factual. We cannot say engineering is based on hypothesis or skepticism. It's based on reality, facts, and facts are facts. You may be honest, you may be sincere, or you may be dishonest, you may not be sincere, you may not be serious, you may be unserious. But remember, facts cannot be denied. Wait, you cannot condemn facts. What happens, happens. We have to die one day. We should not forget that. It's not spiritual talk, it's fact one. Who can deny that I will not die? Who can deny you will not die? We have one date of completion for our living. There was date of start when we got birthday. Our birthday is date of start, birthday of this date of start in that year, and when we have to have practical completion, you can say, or mechanical completion, or you may say even final completion, which there is that I do not know in my contract. Well, I was given a contract. Party one of my contract is my employer, and that is God. I take it that way. I have a contract. My contract is with whom? My contract is with superpowers. That's my employer. Of course, I'm not getting money. I'm not getting in that terminology, but I'm a personal. I'm an employee. You may say, my respect is, my honor is that my employer is powerful, super powerful, supreme. My employer is supreme, and that's party one, and I'm party two. Of course, that contract is not in writing. That contract is in tacit approval by both. We are now trying to trying to amalgamate that in writing, but that's really a very significant contract. We have to understand that way, and I think that way. It's not my employer on earth, whose company or government, state, or whosoever, if I am freelancer, some public. My employer is that who actually originally sent me to this site that's known as Earth or lithosphere, and also on this country Bharat, or all those countries where I worked. It may be Iraq, it may be Libya, it may be UAE, it may be Qatar, it may be Saudi, it may be India, Bharat, it may be China, wherever I was available to work. That's the site of earth. My God, my God expects me to do work in accordance with quality of nature. And quality of nature is very significant for everyone. Well, I'm trying to divert. I'll come back to you. Let me go on piping, because if you are going as you will say, you starting like a guru, and I am no guru. I am nothing. I don't believe in guruology. I believe in workology, and there's a difference between guruology and workology. Workology means you are your own guru and you do what you have learned, or what you learn from this work. If you're expert, means you are your own guru. I don't believe in guru or no guru. I believe in work. I believe in what's given to me I to do. And that's what in this series I'm talking about now at this stage. AnnexSL explanation that is related to EPC contract, and in this I've come across some understanding. I'm just trying to explain items and how we care. Now items piping, and that's the reason I reflected to my experience. But piping is very important item in, you can say, in facilities projects, because it's all generally infrastructure item. It may be below ground, or it may be above ground, or it may be on ground. All three levels, just like in buildings or structures, we can say it may be foundation, it may be groundwork, or it may be grade work, or it may be superstructure work. Likewise, of course, it is not that type, it's an isolated one. In piping, everything is isolated, underground work, or you can say groundwork, or you can say above ground work, where it is all separate systems. In structures are not separate. We have to depend on foundation soil, then we have to depend on foundation, then we have to depend on superstructure, and then on loads of forces of actions that have come to those structures, and through those structural slabs to columns, and to columns of walls, or to foundations, and foundations to soil, and from soil to earth. The sequence is natural one. Here we're talking of non-structural. Of course, it is sound structures, piping called sound structures, like we're talking of GRP pipes, and there are many other classes of pipes, ductile iron pipe, cast iron pipe, sand cast iron pipe, or you can say RCC pressure pipe, RCC non-pressure pipe, or some other type of metal that's required in piping. And there are so many other metals as well, and just so many small and big pipes, and we are talking that no site is free of pipes. You take an example of a small building, you must have underground piping, that's called sanitary piping. You can say how. Then vertical pipe is called, you can say, you can stacks, and there's sand cast iron, whatsoever. And then we can say there are sort of water supply piping with small diameter pipes. And look at piping exists after gas piping, water piping, sanitary piping, or whatever else, firefighting piping. Everywhere you will find these all such building structures. Maybe it may be iron pipe, fiber reinforced pipes. We've got three classes: GRP, ERP, and GRE. One is based on, you can say, thermosetting agents. All these you have here, and you can say that stress analysis is conducted for this piping work. If it's very structural piping it is, and you can say this is going to take big loads of fluid or like that, gases, and these may be full running or not full running. We have FRP piping system, and this piping system is very significant. We have many other piping systems, ductile and pipe, ductile pipe, which is also very significant for water supply lines. So we have got this piping works very important. All this piping system, we have FRP is called fiber reinforced plastic pipes. Then we can see there are various classes of that, and it's just analysis carried for various loops given locations of various supports as well as anchoring requirements. And on ground pipe there are very much anchoring requirements, so they are simply your supports, then anchors, and thrust blocks, and this and that. Various types of supports are designed for carrying diameter of pipes for ground or underground, upper ground, and that's where interest lies in. Now we can say that FRP piping is I'm talking about. FRP piping, we call it, we can say it is, we can say that FRP piping stands for RP stands for thermosetting resin pipes. RT stands for thermosetting resin pipes. It's a composite material, you can say. It's kind of composite material. That is thermosetting resin pipe, a composite material consisting of a thermosetting polymer. It's a polymer, thermosetting polymer, a type of polyester, reinforced with glass. A type of polyester reinforced with glass or other fibers that provide strength and stiffness to a composite material. Different types of resins used for manufacturing are GRP, that you can say isophthalmic resin. FP stands for phthalate, PHTHALIC, isophthalic resin, and V stands for phenyl ester, E stands for epoxy. So you have three materials we are dealing with. It's called isophthalic resin, it's called vinyl ester resin, it's called epoxy resin, respectively, that are selected according to required properties, what properties we want to achieve, such as chemical resistance we want to achieve, temperature controls we want to achieve, and of course temperature resistance, say, and other mechanical properties. Resins provide thermal and chemical properties such as glass, transition, temperature, resistance to heat, chemical resistance, etc. required for finished product. We have to think of all these before properties. Resins provide thermal chemical properties such as glass transitional temperature, resistance to heat, chemical resistance, etc. required for finished product. Properties of GRB pipes can be varied by changing ratio of raw materials as well as winding angle. Winding angle, you can say raw material, what is raw material, and what is winding angle while manufacturing or during process we maintain those pipes. These pipes, you can say, these pipes consist of three layers: internal, external, and intermediate. You can say these pipes consist of three layers adhering to each having different characteristics in relation to functional requirements. So you can say particular information layers for reference only. What are those we can say here? Just for reference, I showed you already, but also maybe it's better to include again. Inner layer, then structural wall it is, and then external layer. So intermediate is structural wall, rowing. Inner layer is wheel, that's glass. We'll say glass in this, and resin is CSM glass. So you can say inner layer is resin, wheel, glass, and resin, and structural wall is rowing, glass, and external is wheel, glass, resin. Composition: inner liner, wheel, glass, resin, CSM glass, resin. Inner you can say liner layer is chemical resistant. As inner one, it should be chemical resistant due to remaining in direct contact with fluid or whatever is there in pipe, and therefore responsible to resist chemical corrosion as well as permeability. Internal surface is particularly smooth. Internal surface is particularly smooth to reduce you can say fluid head losses, and also opposes growth of minerals and algae. This I this is a mat is two monolithic sublayers. This means this inner, you can say, has two monolithic sublayers. What to say with this? You can say inner liner layer is chemical resistant due to remaining in direct contact, and internal surface is particularly smooth. Then this line has two monolithic sublayers, which is also an important point of contact here. To understand this inner layers, two monolithic sublayers. There's inner one, and I'm talking of inner layers, two layers. It says that inner one in contact with fluid is reinforced with glass. Inner that's in contact with fluid is, can say, reinforced with glass. Wheel with resin content 90%. Remember, I'm talking of inner layer. First one, that's contact with 90%, you can say, can say resin content 90%, while outer one reinforced with CSM glass resin content 70% by weight. Standard standard liner thickness about 0.5 to 1.5 mm. That is standard thickness 0.5 to 1.5 mm. Now we're talking of structural wall. That's in between. Roving glass. It is resin. Glass reinforcement. Glass reinforced glass reinforced layers. Glass reinforced layers guarantee mechanical resistance of whole pipe against stresses. Because this is glass reinforced layers, guarantees mechanical resistance of whole pipe against stresses due to internal and external pressure, external loads as well as thermal loads. So what is say? Glass reinforced layers, that is, I'm talking of structural wall, that's in between inner and external, so glass reinforced layers guarantee mechanical resistance of whole pipe against stresses due to internal and external pressure, external loads as well as thermal loads. For GRP and GRV, GRP is isophthalate can be stands for Ulster. GRP and GRV pipes. This layer is obtained by applying on previously on previous partly cured inner liner continuous roving of glass. Continuous roving of glass weighted with resin under control tension. So on inner one, you have to apply your structural wall by roving, and you have to get this voice says obtain. This layer is obtained by applying on previous one inner layer, partly cured inner layer in the liner, continuous roving of glass wetted with resin under control tension. That's what we say is I can say. Because they are also for GRE pipes, we can say for again down for GRE pipes, structural wall is wound directly. For GRE pipes, structural wall is wound directly on wet liner. That's point here is for GRE pipes. We're talking about epoxy pipe, glass reinforced epoxy pipes. GRE pipes, structural wall is wound directly on wet liner. This layer can contain aggregates. That means this layer, that is structural walling, we can say this layer can contain aggregates like silica sand, you can say, if allowed by specifications, while thickness depends on design conditions. So we are talking of structural walling, and it says in GRE case it's epoxy, glass reinforced epoxy pipes. When we are talking of structural walling, this layer can contain aggregates like silica sand if allowed by specifications, while thickness depends on design conditions. External liner, that's VL resin. I'm talking top coat or external liner is an outer layer of pipe consisting of pure resin. We are now talking of external one, which shall be in touch with people. So UV, yes, talking of ultraviolet protectors may be added. Ultraviolet, that's if UV protectors may be added if so required. If so required to protect pipe. Ultraviolet protectors means we have to add certain protector to our manufacturing of GRE pipes. That's UV protectors may be added if it is required, if so required, to protect pipe from effects of solar exposure. In case of meeting severe exposure conditions, what we say, in case of meeting severe exposure condition such as aggressive soils or very corrosive environment like sea, This external liner can be reinforced with a surfing wear or added fiberglass. Fiberglass composites consist of glass fiber. Fiberglass composites consist of glass fiber, reinforcements, thermosetting resin, and additives designed and processed to meet specific functional performance criteria. Fiberglass composites consist of glass fiber, reinforcements, thermosetting resin, and additives designed and processed to meet specific functional performance criteria. Now, we're talking this in general about this. It's just a little interest I'm getting because it's something very much technical. It says fiberglass composites consist of glass fiber, reinforcement, thermosetting resins, and additives designed and processed to meet specific functional performance criteria. So we go to journal now. It's very important as well. But let's see. I'm trying to explain to you what I read. I'm not prepared already, but just read and explain to you as much as possible because it's a lot interesting. The journal says amount, type, and orientation. Amount, type, and orientation of glass fibers. What is quantity? What is type? And how we have to orient this on these fibers. In pipe. Provide mechanical strength. This means we are talking about mechanical strength design on this pipes. What should be the amount of this fiber and type and orientation that decide about mechanical strength. Or we say what mechanical strength we need, we require, what we should do that.